Klaasen and Rajeev Ram are proving their run to the championship match at the 2016 ATP Finals was no fluke. With 2 titles in 2017, the team is reaping the rewards after renewing their partnership for a 2nd straight year.
We get along, we haven't really had any hiccups along the way, and we like the same kind of food. We're generally easygoing about most things, and I think the biggest thing is also that the way we think about the game is similar. You know, we both players who are trying to maximize their potential all the time, and that's sort of the number one reason. You know, like the off-court stuff and the on-court stuff really works well, but like getting along with someone who has similar goals and aspirations is probably the driving force.
For me, I think it's, like I said, it's just been that much more enjoyable. You know, tennis has never been about pressure. It's never been about, you know, anyone else's choice. It's been my choice. I do it because I enjoy it, and even after it became a job, it was still fun for me, which I feel like I'm incredibly lucky to say that. A lot of people go to work every day and don't enjoy what they do, and I'm thankfully not one of those people.
Raj has a really good serve, and Raven kind of cleans up well at the net. He's very active. On the other side, Raj is very long at the net when Raven's serving, so he covers a lot of ground. They complement each other well from the back of the court.
They're a great team. Raven's real athletic, and Rajeev has every shot in the book. He's got a great serve, great forehand. As a team, they play real well together, and they've gotten better and better.
They're well-established players. They know what they're there for. They work hard at their game, and they treat every week as a special week. I think makes them gel, and this is why they're successful.
Last year, Raj and I had a very successful year, and we felt that even though things went really well, there were still areas where we could improve on.
I think we just learned we need to improve our consistency, you know, week in and week out. So that was one of the big things we're trying to address this year is bringing a more consistent level. Billy Heiser started working with us in Australia. The best weeks to have him around are the training weeks, or weeks that we want to put in some work to hopefully prepare ourselves for the really big events.
I think one of the major attributes to having a coach around is sort of having someone to bounce ideas off. When you debrief after a match, it's always good to have sort of a third opinion on how things went down, and that's my biggest I think the biggest advantage of having a coach is that when you are going sort of through a peak, it's not as low as when you by yourself. You know, the turnaround becomes quick, and I think that's the value of having a coach on tour.
We have kind of our roadmap to what we need to do to make them, you know, as successful as possible, and we're going to try and stick to that, and whatever happens at the end of the year kind of happens.
At 34 and 33 respectively, Klaasen and Ram are playing some of the best tennis of their careers. The duo's late blooming may be down to the fact that neither had professional tennis aspirations when they were growing up.
It gives them a different view on their life as professionals because they started playing pro tennis as a little bit more mature than, you know, a 15 or a 16-year-old does. So I think they have a different outlook on the game.
My body didn't develop big enough for me to be a rugby player, so that was sort of a given. So at about 15, I decided to drop everything else and give tennis a proper go, but it took a very long time for it to actually materialize into a career.
It wasn't something I thought of was going to be a career until later on. I mean, I didn't go to an academy. I played with my dad. I was more of just something I did after school. I did it quite well even as a junior, but I never really took it as seriously as some of the kids right now. You know, I only started really thinking about it being a career at about 16, 17 years old, and then I went to college in order to further my tennis. And before that, it was something I did for fun. And I think that's a big reason I'm still out here enjoying it today, is that it's always been a source of enjoyment for me.
Next week on ATP World Tour Uncovered, treble top. We're in Estoril, Munich and Istanbul. And Germany's Philipp Kohlschreiber, still targeting titles in his 30s. Don't forget to log on to atpworldtour.com and chat with us on the ATP's official social network MyATP, now on Vixlet, and on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. See you next week.